I've worked in hospitals for years, and let me tell you, every birth has a story. But some stories aren't just unforgettable, they haunt you. I was a nurse, working the late shift, when this particular family came in. They looked perfect, like something out of a holiday card. The mother was glowing, blonde, blue-eyed, a picture of joy. Her husband, the same, tall, confident, doting, and they weren't alone. They brought the whole extended family. Grandparents, uncles, aunts, everyone had shown up to welcome this baby. From the start, it felt like a big event. The kind where you feel the energy in the air. They were laughing, taking selfies, and talking about how the baby was going to look just like its dad. But here's the thing about delivery rooms, they have a way of revealing truths you can't hide from. The labor went smoothly at first. The mother was a champ, and the baby was ready to make an entrance. But as the baby crowned, I felt it. A tension, a shift in the room's energy. I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but it was like the air got heavier. Then the baby was born. A healthy little girl with dark, curly hair and skin a shade that couldn't be explained by genetics, not with the parents in that room. I remember the mother's reaction like it was yesterday. She looked down at the baby placed on her chest, and her first words were, "That's not my baby. That's not my baby." Everyone froze. The room went silent. You could hear the monitor beeping in the background. The doctor tried to assure her, saying, "This is your baby. She's still attached to you." But the mother shook her head, her voice getting louder. No, there's no way. I've never slept with anyone else. I've never been with a black man." And that's when the father, the man who had been holding her hand moments before, let go. He didn't say a word, but the look on his face said everything. It was a mixture of confusion, hurt, and disbelief. As nurses, we're trained to handle stressful situations, but this was beyond awkward. We continued doing our jobs, cleaning up the baby and checking on mother. But the room, once filled with joy and laughter, was now suffocatingly quiet. The extended family started filtering out, one by one. The father mumbled something about needing a cigarette and left too. It was just the mother, her baby, and us. She looked like she was in shock, her hands trembling as she cradled the baby she had just denied. 10 minutes later, as I was walking past the front desk, a man walked in, a tall black man, nervous but determined. He asked, "Can you tell me which room she's in?" At that moment, everything clicked. The pieces of the puzzle fell into place, but it wasn't my job to judge. I told him the room number and went back to work. But I couldn't help glancing toward her door when he walked in. I wasn't in the room, but I heard the shouting. It started low, muffled, then escalated. The mother's voice was pleading. "You can't be here. He'll come back. He'll see you." The man's voice was firm. "I deserve to be here. That's my baby." The shouting must have carried down the hall because the father returned, cigarette in hand. He stopped outside the room, listening. Then, as if deciding he'd had enough, he walked in. What happened next is something I'll never forget. There was a crash, something metal hitting the floor, and then yelling. The father's voice was shaking. "Is this why the baby doesn't look like me? Is this who you've been with?" The mother was crying now, unable to form words. The tall man tried to stay calm, but it was clear he didn't want to leave. "I didn't know she was married," he said. "But that's my child. I have a right to be here." Security was called, but by the time they arrived, the father had already stormed out of the hospital. The mother was left alone with the man and her baby, her perfect life unraveling in real time. In the days that followed, the hospital staff couldn't stop talking about it. Rumors spread like wildfire. Some said the father never came back. Others said the mother tried to fix things, but it was too late. As for the tall man, he was seen visiting the baby a few times before the mother was discharged. It's been years, but I still think about that family. How one moment, a single truth, can change everything. Births are supposed to be beginnings, filled with hope and promise. But for this family, it was the end of something, a lie they had been living, now exposed under the harsh lights of the delivery room. And the baby? She had no idea the chaos her arrival had caused. She was just a baby, innocent and unaware. But her birth wasn't just the start of her life. It was the moment a truth long hidden came to light, changing everyone around her forever.